Now they out. So what does this mean for Houston, man? Is it a wrap? Well, first of all, who do you blame? Do we blame the superstars? Do we blame D'Antoni?
You blame.
Or do we say Golden State is just that good?
We blame, is it Dan Morley?
Or Dan Morley?
Daryl.
Oh, Daryl. Okay, Daryl.
Yeah, probably
Mr. Morley.
Probably Dan at this particular point.
Right. He, Dan,
Yeah.
Dion,
Darnell,
somebody.
whatever.
To even believe that this would work. You go pay a 34-year-old point guard to play two guard, $40 million. That's one problem. And you pay another big guy, Clint Capella, who basically gets schemed out of the whole series pretty much. Mm-hmm. And you're depending on a guy in James Harden who has always had excellent regular seasons, but we can point to at least 3 times in the playoffs where he just wet the bed. Now, I'm not saying he did that this last night, but the night before when KD went down, this is your opportunity to go ahead and put the nail in the coffin, and you took one shot in the last 8 minutes of the game.
This was when you talking about last night?
No, this is game 5.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what was up with
that. So this is your opportunity to beat them at home and come home to finish the deal. So, for Morley to even believe that this style of basketball would actually beat this team, I mean, you 5 times out of the last 6 years, did you lose to this team with the same style?
Let me say this though. I don't know if you can blame anyone in Houston, and what I'm saying is, I say you give Golden State the credit. See, this is what people fail to realize. Mark, so what's my man's name? The forward. P.J. Tucker came out, and P.J. Tucker said, they marked him, they showed Mark, point guard, I can't think of his name, the point guard calling the game. Mark Jackson. Was getting on P.J. Tucker because P.J. Tucker, they showed a clip of him saying that he told the guys, look, they're gonna play harder. Mm-hmm. They're gonna be running around, cuts. It's gonna get harder.
Right.
We need to, get ready for this. And Mark Jackson said, "You crazy? They without Durant or whatever." I understand what Mark Jackson was saying, but at the same time, people forget this team still won its championship and was up 3-1 in another championship after winning 73 games. But not only that, if you look at both teams on paper, shoot, you can look at the game, but on paper, without Kevin Durant, Golden State Warriors are still better than the Houston Rockets.
The thing about that is that they have to revert back to doing it.
Who, Golden State?
Yeah, in the midst of the game. So you got one quarter, right? Now, I understand game 6 where you can prepare for that.
Right, and I'm talking game 6. But
right, I
understand.
understand.
What you
so game 5 is see, that's the thing. See, game 5 gave Golden State the confidence. Oh, we beat them and KD went down on the instant.
But listen, but still, and this is what people have to understand. You're right. Golden State had to reform and say, okay, what do we have to do? But at the same time, this Houston Rockets team, the last 2 years, if you wouldn't even say 3 years, but the last 2 years with that team, the core, with Chris Paul, Capella, Tucker, and all of them, they seen a Golden State Warriors team with Kevin Durant.
Right.
So now D'Antoni is scrambling. Who do we put P.J. Tucker on Clay? Do we put him on Curry? Who's going to guard Iguodala? So you could tell Houston was scrambling because the game wasn't really lost on offense for Houston. Even though James Harden took 2 shots, Eric Gordon was scoring. He was keeping them in the game. It's just that they couldn't stop Golden State. Then you look at game 6. Now, how do we still – we only had a game and a half not even a game and a half. What, 1 quarter basically?
1 quarter, and yeah.
And so you have to prepare for this team that you hadn't prepared for, that you prepare for this Kevin Durant team for the last 2 years. It's still hard to say, all right, we're going to guard him. And then, too, Clay was hitting some crazy shots, bruh. Like,
I give Golden State all the credit, that without a doubt. But I think Houston blew this in Game 5. You basically changed your whole offense because Paul had the ball most of the fourth quarter. When KD goes out, this is your opportunity for James Harden to now, I need you to get your 50, get 40. I need the ball in your hand, be the playmaker, do all you need to do, and you only take one shot in the last 8 minutes of the game. Now, force them to check you. You don't try to make them adjust to you. You make them adjust to how you're going to do. So I just think in Game 5 was their opportunity to take advantage of something that happened instant. They gave Golden State confidence going into Game 6.
right.
And once they got that confidence, Clay started. And the thing is that you never even took advantage of Steph being in foul trouble in the first half.
And that's
He didn't even score.
That's the thing. And look, you all 404-603-8770. Take a few quick calls if you want to call in and give a quick 3 cents. But yeah, and that's the crazy part. But then, let me ask you. Again, what happened? So you said maybe the general manager.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has to take some blame because you doing it, trying to do it the same way, and that did not work.
So what happens now then? Do you break this team up? Because it seems like the only problem is Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I thought Houston had a chance to win, even before Kevin Durant went out. And you can look at it, every game has been 6 points or less, no matter what. So they're always – and it was like that last year. But obviously you don't have enough.
Right.
Do you keep what you have? We see CP3 is getting older. And do you get somebody else? Because you really wonder – me and G was talking about this. What if Carmelo would have just – was it defense? I mean, was it offense or what?
Last year they defensively they were more physical, and the defense kind of carried them.
Right.
This year, and again, Eric Gordon he didn't have 27. He didn't even get his average in the for the series. He's averaging 22 for the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think he only scored 10 points or 9 points or whatever the case may be. So, it can be a combination of things. Maybe I didn't get enough from my bench offensively because regardless of what it is, you're still an offensive team with D'Antoni as the head coach. And then you allow Kevin Looney to score 14 points.
Yeah, big. And
Livingston 11.
Livingston, even the center,
Bell
came in and did a good job.
Yeah, Bell came in and did a great job.
Bruh,
it was like Golden. Now they say Golden State bench is the weakest for this team, but they came in and allowed.
But that's because they hadn't been playing because you couldn't play them.
Right.
That's why we have a caller want to put that 3 cents in. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey, how's it going? Who's calling?
Hey, y'all know what it is. It's D. Burks. What's going on?
What's happening, Burks?
Hey, man, I just wanted to comment on Steve Kerr finally utilizing the strength and numbers, the thing that made him the great coach and the Warriors a great team. He finally utilized his whole team. Ralph, I just heard you say he wasn't able to use them. I think he always was able to use them. He just wasn't confident in as much. You gotta trust your style. You gotta trust your coaching and guiding them to this far. Hopefully, going forward, they continue to use the bench and not be so Kevin Durant dependent. I think that that formula will help them later on in later rounds if they're going up against teams who do utilize their benches in Portland or Denver.
Right. No, and you're right, and appreciate that, D. Burks. And what I mean by he wasn't able to use them, I'm saying as far as because you had KD, so you didn't have room. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like we were saying, like with Capella being schemed out of the series because you saw the lineup that Houston put out there in Game 4 and 5,
right,
where it was Tucker, Harden, Paul, Gordon, and Austin Rivers. You
Right.
guys basically out there with 5 guards.
Right. That's
Right.
Red League ball.
So, so the Warriors kind of had to match that. The advantage that they had was Kevin Durant. But if they don't have Kevin Durant, then they kind of go back to what they were during the first year of this run.
Right.
right.
And that is a lot of ball movement, and that kind of you're making Houston kind of scramble because then they can't exactly play the way they want to.
Right.
So they're not going back to it's not the Hamptons 5 lineup, but the Warriors have what was the death lineup when
Right.
they had Harrison Barnes, but they didn't really have to. They could still use a big, so they were able to do some different things. But with, like Bert said, with Kevin Durant, they were more isolation heavy.
Right.
But that's because they have Kevin Durant. But if
Right,
they don't
right.
have him, then there's more ball movement.
And see, you can't. And then you got to remember who you playing. Like G just mentioned, you're playing Houston, so I guarantee you, if they play Portland, you might see more of the bench now, especially now. Denver, you might see less or more. It depends who you're playing. With Houston, we ought to know they go small. They got one big man,
Right.
and that's it. So, like I said, it's definitely worth talking about and worth wondering what's going to happen with Houston. I say they get somebody else. The thing is, do you get rid of D'Antoni?
You know, that's hard to do, but and the only reason why is you got to think about it like this. Now, as a coach, and let's just think about through this for a second. Steph Curry got his 3rd foul on the charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you bring him back in the game, no one attacked Curry.
Well, they tried. They kept trying to do the pick and roll, but Golden State was smart enough not to let him.
They didn't attack. They didn't ISO him.
They didn't post.
They did. You have to take him out of the game by not
So let me
having him
ask you,
in the game.
And this is the problem with Houston. Who's there to post?
PJ Tucker.
That's not a part of D'Antoni's offense.
But not only that-
a post game
Right,
does not exist.
But Tucker, and that's why he has those players, right? Because Tucker can't post. He's not a post guy. Chris Paul, maybe.
In-game adjustments. My whole thing: are you trying to win, or you just trying to stick to my style? Golden State did stick to the KD style. They reverted back to something that they can actually do
Right.
that they hadn't done in 3 years.
And that's why they are champions. That's it. So
You know.
all right, we'll see what happens. But don't.
D'Antoni might be out though.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah,
But don't
D'Antoni
leave
might be out.
yet, because we have another crazy hot. We have 2 hot topics actually. What's up with these LA Lakers?
Oh yeah, I got plenty on them.
We'll be right back.